Hey everybody, we're here at Kezaentertainment Studios, and I'm gonna let these guests here introduce themselves. Who are you?
What's going on, my beautiful people? It is your boy Don Drago, aka the Don, and this is my friend and music partner in this single that we just did, and I'll let her introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Aeva Alexander, and I can't wait to start this interview with you guys.
Yay! Well, thanks for coming. You guys came all the way from Tampa, right?
All the way from
Yes.
Tampa.
Nice.
Yes, we did.
How did you guys get your artist names, actually?
Do you want to go first on that? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, originally I got my artist name when I was in California. I was looking for something creative to express my music, and I came up with that. And I've been going with it ever since. And then Alexander means king or the great, and I really like that, so I wanted it to incorporate into my name.
Nice. I love that. And how did you get your artist name?
Well, for me, my old artist name, and some people may still know me by Pyro. You know, I did release some songs under Pyro, and anyway. But the next stage in the evolution was Don Drago. I believe that my spirit animal is a dragon, and therefore, you know, hence Drago stands for dragon, and then Don because I grew up watching Scarface and The Godfather, and I love mafia movies, and hence Don Drago.
Nice, nice. And where are you originally from?
I was actually born in Clearwater, Florida, but I've been, you know, in Tampa, Florida, or the Tampa Bay area my whole life. But yeah, so Tampa 813, shout out to my city.
Nice. And Ava, where are you from originally?
I was born in Staten Island, New York, and I moved to Delaware. I lived there for about 9 years, and then I lived in Florida for pretty much the longest. I spent a couple years in California moving around, but I would consider Tampa, Florida my home.
Nice. Yeah, Tampa's nice.
Tampa.
Hey, 813 in the house.
Hey, we in here.
So when did you start your music career, Drago?
Well, I started writing like lyrics and songs at like 11, 12 years old. I didn't actually record for the first time until I moved to Tampa from Clearwater. You know, I originally kind of grew up my first half of my life in Clearwater, and then got out here, met up with some guys who are really good musicians, and kind of learned the trade and learned how to record.
So about how many years have you seriously been in the music game? On a serious level, because I know you dabbled in it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, I mean, I've always taken music serious, but I've been in multiple groups, right?
Okay, there
So
you go.
I've been in some different groups. When I was coming up learning music, I learned originally how to produce in church. You know, I was
very
always
cool.
getting dragged to church all the time, and the only reason that I would go would be to either learn the drums or learn, you know, different production. So I picked up a lot of it that way, and yeah, so I've been doing it for, you know, like I look at this competitively, and I've been doing it competitively or like for real for a good amount of years.
Nice.
But this is the first time that I'm pushing my own brand
That's what I was
an
gonna say,
independent
as an independent, as solo.
solo artist.
Yeah. So how many years have you been at it as a solo artist?
I just released my first solo project at the December of 2019. So now
Nice. Congratulations.
Hey, appreciate
That's
that.
exciting. And what about you, Ava? When did you start?
I started producing music in 2012. I had Pro Tools that I was doing some recording, some covers, and I was making beats. I actually produced a couple beats, and I was really into the whole production side of it. And then I took a step back and really just wanted to focus on being the artist and, you know, letting other people worry about the production and making the beat. So I'm just really focusing on myself and as an artist right now, doing
That's
features
awesome.
with other people right now too.
Very cool. When was your first official release?
My first official release was in 2016, but I didn't put it out on all streaming platforms because I didn't know at the time how to. So I would say actually 2019 is when officially all my music started being released on Apple Music, but I was on a feature in about 2017 with another artist, Dork the Ghost, and that was the first time like the internet's ever heard my voice was a feature. So
Very cool. And you have an amazing voice, I bet. So that's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
And what are your top 3 artists, Drago?
Well, I grew up a lot listening to Linkin Park,
Nice.
you know, Gym Class Heroes, Nelly.
Cool.
I grew up with a lot of the people who like they make kind of melodic music,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, And of course, like, you know, you got your rappers like Eminem and all those guys, and I definitely also grew up watching them as well. But
yeah, because you are very melodic and you're very fast.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a very cool, unique style.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
for sure. And what about you, Love? What are your top 3 artists?
My top 3 artists would have to be Beyonce. I listened to her growing up from my sisters. I listened to a lot of John Mayer. My father listens to country, so I also grew up like really listening to a lot of old country music. And then a newer artist, her name is Janine. I started listening to her mixtape when I was going through some things, and so I really take inspiration from her, and I've been, you know, channeling energy for about maybe 2 or 3 years, listening to her music.
Awesome. Yeah, Janina earlier before our interview, and what I really loved about it is that you said she's an underdog.
She is.
So she's like on the come up like you are, and so
Yes.
you really relate to her, and I thought that was
do.
really cool that you're supporting her music.
Yeah, I hope I get to meet her soon, so hopefully
Hey.
that happens in the future.
Shout out Janine.
Shout out to Janine.
Ava just shouted you out, Janine.
Hey,
We
baby,
need
you
that
guys could do a
phone call.
collab.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
that'd
be
be
dope.
dope. You gotta tag her in this video.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And then what about you? What did your parents listen to growing up, Drago?
My mom, you know, she listened to everything. She was a teacher, so she always stayed relevant. You know, public school system, stayed relevant to what the kids were listening to. But I was influenced a lot growing up by my 2 older brothers, you know, and they would listen into, you know, hip hop, obviously rock. You know, like to me, if it sounds good, I don't really have a preference. You know, I kind of just like all music. Even some country songs I'll listen to, and I don't, you know, discriminate. My little sister these days is big on country. Shout out Elizabeth. But you know, I like everything.
Nice. And then what was your first music purchase growing up?
My first music purchase that
That
I
you
can
can
remember,
remember.
right,
Yeah.
that I can remember, I think that would have to be Marshall Mathers LP1, which was his first like CD, and maybe one of Nelly's first CDs as well. Because I remember, you know, I used to love Nelly. Nelly
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, Nelly's dope.
but yeah, so one of those 2 was my first ones. But yeah,
Very good. How about you, Ava? What was your first music purchase?
My first music purchase, I honestly can't remember my first music purchase, but one of the ones that I remember more recently when I was maybe like 11 or 12 was getting Best Thing I Never Had by Beyonce, and I like had to ask my mom permission to like download it on like iTunes Music because it was like $1 or something, and it was like on her account, so I had to like ask permission for that, and so that's like the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about the first thing I've purchased.
Nice. And then because of your music selection, I'm a little older than you guys, so I want you to tell the guests, the audience actually, what your ages are.
Well, I'm 23 years old.
I'm old enough to party. Nah, I'm 26, but I'm also a Virgo. You know, so I'm gonna be having a birthday coming up here in a few weeks.
Nice.
Yes.
You both are a good age too, like to really get cracking in your music career, and it's
Exactly.
like blossoming years. So
It
that's
is.
exciting. I'm excited to see where you guys go with that. And then, what was your first performance like so far in your solo journey, Drago?
Oh yeah, in my solo journey, first performance. Oh well, I tell you, I did a corporate performance at a. I'm not gonna actually say the name of the company, but there was like, you know, a couple hundred people there. It was a corporate performance with the edited song at the time, and it was super sick. Obviously, I've had multiple performances in different clubs. If you know, like in Tampa, you know, like.
When you were with your groups at the time? Or,
Yeah, that too. So like
Yeah.
a lot of clubs and venues, but the first one that I remember, which was dope, was that corporate performance, and it was mad different, and it was super cool.
Awesome. Very cool. What about you, Ava?
My first performance would have to be like at an open mic. I haven't really had like a true like performance yet where people buy tickets to come see me, so that's going to be happening in the future. But really my first performance was at an open mic on Atlas Stats Coffee House on Adams Ave in San Diego, California, and it was the first time I sang Tempted live, and I did it with no music in the background, just like straight a cappella.
Hey,
That's
It was-
wrong.
that's
it
pretty
was
sick.
awesome.
That's
That
pretty
people
dope.
respect that.
They do respect.
Yeah, everybody was very, very respectful and like really gave me their like undivided attention. So it really inspired me to sing more after
For
that
sure.
first
Nice.
time.
it was like a good trigger effect to
Yes.
keep it going. You got that.
Yeah.
You got the music bite.
Yes.
You got that music high, that
Yes,
performing high.
I did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
I know that. And then you're just like, it's a wrap. Let's keep
Yeah.
this going.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we know throughout everything that is going on, especially now, but just in general, we get stressed out a lot as individuals, even as artists. How do you balance your stress? How do you handle your stress?
You want to take this first?
Yes, I can take that first.
Take that
So, thank you. How I really de-stress and make sure I'm balanced is I just try to ground myself and stay present in the moment. I try to take time to myself. I like to sit in silence and meditate. I like to listen to music that makes me feel good and say like daily affirmations. And I just do things that comfort me so I can try to regain balance and feel more centered like myself when I start to feel like I'm losing a grip or I bit off more than I can chew type of situation. So that's really how I handle stress.
That's
Nice.
real.
Yeah,
that's real.
awesome.
What she said too that I liked, and something that I do as well, is affirmations and meditation. Meditation has obviously been proven scientifically that it'll help decrease stress and things like
Yes.
that. On top of that, for me, I like reading. And I like to read personal development, like always trying to get better, trying to figure out how to get more discipline. A book that I recently just read was called Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you haven't read it, pick that up. Life-changing book there. Also, I do like to shoot guns at the range,
Nice.
get a little de-stress there, work out every day. And I actually just started Muay Thai, so I'm excited to get a little deeper into that. Yeah,
That's
pretty cool.
Nice.
So just a couple things that I do.
That's great. These are all really good answers. Staying physical, meditating, affirmations. Affirmations are really good because sometimes our self-talk, we can be
Yeah.
really hard on ourselves. So when you read those,
Very
it like
self-critical.
bounce back to like a positive place.
Right.
That's great. What's your most challenging moment so far in your music journey? You can go first, Drago.
Probably like most of the artists who are alive today, I would say the lowest you can go is rock bottom. So you can't get any lower than rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
So my rock bottom was, no job, sleeping on my mom's couch, in a one-bedroom apartment at the time, no car, taking the bus. And then on the days where I missed the bus, I'll have a bike, and if there was too many bikes on the bus, because the bus can only carry 2 bikes. So at the time, I had a bike. And if I missed the bus, which I did a couple times, I'll have to ride 5 miles and get to work all sweaty. At the time, I was working for a company doing door knocking, door-to-door sales, which was, it was a grind. There was dogs out there. I learned to stay away from the big dogs when I'm walking. I kept them on the peripherals. But yeah. So but with all that said, there's a quote that I love, and it's like, bad habits are broken at the bottom. So it's like when you're at the bottom, if you could figure out how to break your bad habits and break that cycle, then you could get yourself out of it. And ultimately, that's what I did.
That's great. Yeah. And through that, you also stayed on music, obviously, right? Because that was
always,
a time. That's a trying time where you're like on the grind. You can get really tired, feel discouraged, but you still obviously were doing your
Always
music during
kept
that
doing
time.
music.
That's awesome.
Music for us, and with people that I grew up with and stuff in the city, it was never about money or or status or anything. There were times where we didn't have anything else to do. So that's where those were the times, at least for me, where I really fell in love with it. Was I didn't have anywhere else to go or anything else to do. So that's kind of where I had
your
to
escape.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Ava? What has been one of your most challenging moments in your music journey?
I'm just staying consistent with constantly creating, because it's so easy to get distracted with what's going on in your life, and just life happens. And so when you are striving to do this full time, it can be very difficult. So I think just being consistent and staying true to what I love and always showing up for what I want is definitely been the most difficult thing. But
That's real.
Yeah, it is real.
Yeah.
Because staying consistent with this is a difficult thing.
It is very difficult.
It is.
Because you do get caught up, you do get distracted.
Right.
Then there's responsibilities you have to handle. Sometimes you almost feel guilty.
Right.
Do I pay for this beat? Do I
Yes.
pay for this video? Do I pay for this photo
Exactly.
shoot? Or do I pay this bill? Or
Right.
do
There's a
I
lot
work
that
on my
goes
credit?
into it.
That's the realest.
That's
yeah,
so real.
that's super real, yeah.
Do I pay my taxes now?
Yeah, that part.
Right.
Cool, so if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Okay,
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, we both said mind reader, but like at the same time, I thought about it, and I would like to be invisible. Like I would like to just become invisible because I feel like in the future that would really be to my benefit.
All right, she's choosing invisibility. I'm choosing to be a mind reader. And I really truly believe if I could read minds, not only would I be president, but I would be like king of the world.
Wow, that's real.
That's real.
All right, so let's jump into your guys' new release. It's a song you both collabed on. What is it called?
The song is called Immortals.
Nice.
With an S.
Yes.
And how did you two collab to do that track together?
I reached out to her, and basically like I had seen her work before. We knew of each other, and I was, I kind of had the idea, and I knew that I needed like a super, super strong vocalist because I am not the best vocalist in the world. I try, but I knew I needed a super strong vocalist, so I reached out to her and sent her everything, and then you could tell them what happened from there.
Yeah, so the first time we actually met in person, like all of our communication was like through the phone, like through Instagram. We like talked on the phone a couple times prior to meeting, but the first time we met was actually the first time that we were in the studio recording Immortals. Yeah. So it was like really interesting to like see how like everything flowed and all like really came together because we didn't really have like a connection or any history of.
We didn't know each other really before then, just over the phone.
So it's like really beautiful how Immortals turned out.
Yeah, the video is very cool. The song's really cool.
Appreciate it.
It's a vibe. I could see that song being on a soundtrack of a movie or video game.
Well, that's what we were kind of hoping for when we did it, and
that would be great.
Yeah, you guys can totally pitch that to some licensing companies.
For sure.
When I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, that could be on a video game or like one of those mythical movies.
Right.
It was really cool.
Heck yeah.
So what inspired the track?
Well, what inspired the track is just, at least from my perspective, and it may mean something different to you, what inspired the track for me originally was just, with all the turmoil and everything going on with the coronavirus this year and everything, I just wanted something where it was like inspirational, but also kind of, gave a little bit of hope. And, I heard the beat and I was just like, the melody just kind of clicked. And then the concept Immortals, the idea of living forever or creating something that lives forever even after we're gone. And then, like I said, once I got her on it and she was like, yes, I was like, oh shit, we about to make something.
I really liked your vision and like, I really admired like how he wanted everything to go. And so I really fell in love with like the concept and the idea. It does have a little bit of a different meaning for me just because, it was originally his vision. But we kind of really collabed and came together. And I think that's when we were in the studio recording, you could really see that like coming really.
Chemistry just hit between us, between Skylar, and just.
Yeah,
that's that creative magic.
Yeah, it was that.
I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. So what does it mean to be immortal to you?
Well, just to dive a little deeper into that subject, to me, being an immortal is leaving something behind on this planet after you're gone. And it's like that really, like, from a personal standpoint, was kind of like my idea for the song. Is like, even after I'm gone, like the idea immortal. Immortal means you'll live forever, will never die. And if you hear the song, that's what it talks about. But also, like, just creating something that lives forever after I'm gone. People will still be able to see that and, still see me. And, I just think that's dope. Leave something behind.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same way that I interpret it. I just feel like, energy like can't be destroyed. So once it's created, so, to leave something behind, to share with people so they can experience that with you, even when you're past, is really beautiful.
I love that. Who creatively directed the video?
Well, we ended up using Blue Box, Anthony Rivera, and he did a great job in regards to the production and helping. I originally directed the video in regards to just writing out
creative process.
The creative process, but he definitely played a big role, and I thought he did a great job of bringing that vision to life. And of course she helped as well, throwing in different ideas. So it was a collective effort. I don't want to take all the credit or anything.
Yeah.
Shout out Anthony Rivera, Blue Box Digital.
Shout out
Appreciate
to Blue Box
you, girl.
Digital.
Amazing.
And you did mention a really cool story, Ava, during the video, that BTS stuff. that you actually had to jump over a fence in a skirt and heels
Yes,
to the graveyard.
Yes, we were going to do a shoot inside this graveyard, and I hopped a fence in a skirt and heels to get into the graveyard because the person that was supposed to open it was running behind.
They ran late that day.
So we were like, okay, well, we're allowed to be in here, but like we didn't want to wait. We were being impatient, so we just hopped the fence, and it was a really great time. Like, it was a great way to start off. Like,
and let's also point
the beginning
out
of the shoot.
that place is, if you search like most haunted places in Tampa, that place comes up. So we did. I just want to throw this out there. You know, it's a. You're allowed to be there. It's not, you know, anything like that. But yes, we did have to hop the fence, but we were very respectful on the grounds for all those.
Yes, we played the music very low,
We did.
and we just, you know, we were respectful of it. But we definitely felt the energy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard of that place.
Yeah.
Do you care to share the name of this most haunted graveyard in Tampa?
Well, to be honest, I did not find the place. Shout out to my fiance Sarah.
Hey,
she found that place, and she basically looked up, you know, most haunted places. Ended up finding it. I don't know exactly what it's called. I could, you know, probably tag it or whatever, but it is haunted. And
that was my first time going there, so I've never been there before.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, I don't typically go to graveyards.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
me
saying
neither.
on that? Yeah, but so that was my first time being there. But it's in downtown, and there's actually a haunted house in downtown.
There was a haunted house right
that's
across
in our
from it that we
video.
also shot at, and we looked it up, and we looked that one up as well, and it's also proven haunted.
Yes.
That gives me the chills.
It's so weird.
Yeah, oh my
but
God.
we made it happen.
Cool. Okay, that's a great behind the scenes music video
Yeah.
story that I didn't even really know in detail, so I'm glad you shared that. What do you guys hope to accomplish with this release?
Just to
Well, I
grow
think,
more.
yeah, to grow more for one, and I think what you said, I think that one of the ideas for the song was to try to get it placed in like a movie or, you know, a commercial or something like that. So we are playing it with that route, or video game. We want that. Obviously, you know, there's always the financial aspect of wanting to get a return on your investment. But aside from that, what I would like for it is just for people, you know, that are going through a tough time at some point to be able to hear the song and it like provide them comfort. Just like I'm sure for you or anybody, when you have different rough times in your life or just different times where you're overcoming adversity, you have that song that you put on. It just makes you feel like, oh, I'm not the only one. Like, I would like other people at some point to feel like that about that song.
Nice. I love that. Where they actually get the feels listening to it and
Yeah.
relate. Yeah, that's a great accomplishment. Yeah. And then I know you mentioned earlier about some merch you got going on. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. Okay. So I am in the process of putting together an album. I'm shooting for it, but like these singles that I'm dropping now, Immortals included, is part of that project, right? But that project, because of some work that I got coming up this year, is going to be pushed toward the end of the year. Long story short, Dragon Spirit is the name of that project. So my merch as of right now is it's pretty cool. It's like dragons and you know, if you ever seen Dragon Ball Z, like swords and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's on my Shopify. You know, on my website. We'll definitely tell you guys those. She's also got a website, which is awesome. So we'll give you all those links. But yeah, I do have merch, Shopify up. You know, Instagram, YouTube, website.
And what's the merch called?
The merch, it's like Dragon Spirit, and then it's just like a dope, like...
It's a black t-shirt with
Black
like
t-shirt.
orange like flames and like dragons.
It's like a graphic
That's
tee.
really
It's like
cool.
a graphic tee. That's what
Yeah.
the merch is right now.
Nice, nice, nice. And then what about you, Love? What are some of your upcoming projects?
Some of my upcoming projects, I have an album coming out. It's called Lotus. The date is not set right now, but it's definitely in the works.
Very cool.
And I have a website. It's avaalexander.com, and you can get the links to my music, more about me, and the music video is also linked there that we've done together, and how to find that on
That's on YouTube,
All
by the
Music.
way. Yep. You just put in Immortals, Don Drago featuring Aeva Alexander, and boom.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
probably
this
the
is-
easiest
this-
way to find it.
This is a great time for you guys to just drop all your handles.
Oh, okay.
actually.
Drop the
Yeah.
handles. All right. So, DonDragoMusic.com is mine. She already said hers.
Go ahead and tell us the spelling.
Okay, so Don is D-O-N, and then Drago is D-R-A-G-O, music, M-U-S-I-C.com.
Nice. And then that's you on Instagram too, right?
Instagram is DonDrago_official. This is
Boom.
the handle.
And what about you, Ava?
Mine is official Ava, official and then AEVA, and my website is spelled avaalexander.com, the same way AEVA Alexander.com. And you can find me on Apple Music by Ava Alexander and all streaming platforms by that name.
Beautiful.
And I second that.
Nice. You guys were such a pleasure. Cheers to you guys for
salute.
coming through.
My water, salute.
Was there one more thing you guys wanted to say to us before you close it out?
I just wanted to thank everybody who watched this
Yes,
video,
seriously.
all the fans, everybody who showed love to Immortals. We appreciate it. Thank you, Nat Keza, for inviting us here
Yes,
to
thank you
Sarasota.
so
It's been a
much.
pleasure. You have a beautiful place here.
Thank
and
you.
guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the flip side. Spirit is dropping on all platforms as well, the new single
Yes.
on September 25th. Make sure to tune in for that. But again, guys, I want to thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
I wish I had those air
Thank
horns.
you.
All right, and that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in.